Hey, it's Patrick McGuire here with EmpoweredNutrition.com. I'm just coming up with one of those quick tips once again, and the quick tip here is basically answering questions. And the question I get quite often, just like all of them, they're mostly the same common questions, just phrased differently, is how many calories should I eat to get big? Well, I got to frame that question, and I got to respond with a question. Do you want to get as big as you can, or do you want to get as lean and muscular as you can? And that's going to define exactly how many calories you need. And from there, you got to get into ratios and caloric quantities and nutrients and things like that. You got to get into your metabolism. But in order to grow as a lean builder versus a mass gainer, they're two totally different strategies. And they have different ratios, and they have different profiles, they have different meal timings, different quantities of meals, different quantity of foods in those meals. But how many calories do I need to eat to grow? Well, I got a little trick that helps you out real easy. Whatever you're currently eating now, if you're comfortable with the body fat you're at today, you need to increase and eat to be about 20 pounds heavier. So if your goal is to gain 20 pounds, you need to eat to be about 20 pounds heavier. So you need to increase your proteins, carbs, and fats by maybe 5 to 10%. It might not be that much. And you need to follow that for about a month to 3 months. And I know that's always not what you want to hear, but I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you the empowered way. Now, when you eat to be 20 pounds heavier, you will be 20 pounds heavier. You may gain some fat, you will gain some muscle. But what you're going to then do is back off a little bit, and when you hit that goal, say I wanted to be, well, my example is I started out at 160 competitively, 163 actually. And every year I progressed up in weight. I gained almost 10 pounds a year, 7 to 10 pounds every year. And I competed at about 171, and then I competed at 176 a few months later. The following year, competed at about 182 pounds, and then 186. Really interesting those numbers happened. Then I competed at 192, 194, 196. And then the last time that I was competing, I was at about 204 pounds. Now, it's interesting, I only said I went up by 10-pound increments, but I gained 20 pounds plus in the off-season and cut it up. My goal was to each year go up by 20 pounds in total weight and come down in 10 to get really tight. And it was okay to compete a few months, few years actually at the same weight class, because then you got a harder, denser, tighter body. And so how many calories do I need to eat? Well, you need to determine, is it just for lean mass or is it for just mass? And those strategies will dictate how many calories you eat, of course, but more importantly, they dictate what ratios those calories come from. A lean builder will typically have more protein and equal parts carbohydrates and a moderate fats, good healthy omega oil fats. But a mass program, a macro mass program if you will, has higher proteins and much higher carbohydrates than the average program it is just to stay lean and moderately healthy. And of course they have a good dose of fats too. So you need to figure out the ratios after that. But how many calories? Well, depending on which program you're using, the calories are probably going to be somewhere between 2,600 up to about 3,500, 4,000 calories. And for some of you real hard gainers that are really struggling and are not afraid of gaining some fat mass along with your lean mass, you're going to want to get around even 4,000, 5,000, sometimes 6,000 calories. Beyond that, you're either already a really big guy and you're consuming those calories or just taking in the wrong ones, or you're just getting fat. So how many calories do I need to grow? Well, if you want to be massive, you could get in the range of 6,000 calories a day. If you want to be a lean builder, it might be more like 3,000, 4,000 calories a day, even if for the hard gainers in you. So, for how many calories should I eat to grow? I'm Patrick McGuire with Empowered Nutrition, telling you it's somewhere between 3,000 calories and 6,000 calories, and a really good ratio that works for you. Have a great day. Have an empowered day. I'm Patrick McGuire with EmpoweredNutrition.com.